Is Warframe worth it in 2024? I was an avid Warframe player 5 years ago. I used to stream it, I made content for it, I loved it. Then one day, I just stopped. I don't really remember why.
No!
But fast forward a few years, and I came back. Now, if you've not been playing Warframe for the past few years, or it's been off of your radar, you might not know that they've added a ton. Depending on when you last played, you probably do not know that they added arcanes for your melee weapons. You probably don't know that they added a lot of new quest lines. One is like 4 hours long. Seriously, highly suggest checking it out. You might not know that they added these items called Archon Shards that insanely take your build over the top. Archon Shards can be obtained by a series of missions similar to sorties called an Archon Hunt. After completing the hunt, you will be rewarded a guaranteed Archon Shard, and you can do this once a week. There are 3 different colors of Archon Shards you can obtain: a red, a blue, and a yellow. And each color has various things it could do to boost your build. You can even take 2 different colors and combine them into one color that also has various buffs for your build. Which brings us to Netracells. Netracells is an activity that has a chance at more Archon Shards for the week. You have 5 chances at a shard, so most people only run 5 Netracells a week. In Netracells, the enemies are level 225, and the activity is filled with a new enemy faction called the Murmur, personally my favorite enemy in the game. You also might not know that you can now subsume a regular version of a Warframe, retaining one of its abilities and put that ability on another Warframe. You can do things like take Rhino's Roar and put it on Wisp. You can take Necros's Terrify and put it on Volt, so now Volt can armor strip. You can take Nourish and put it on Rhino. You could take Nourish and pretty much put it on any frame to make that frame OP. Seriously, it's the go-to 99% of the time. But we'll cover that another time. Expect to see some Warframe builds from me in the very near future. Now, you can take all of these things that they've added over the years, and the build crafting in this game is S tier. Aside from all of that, you probably do not know much about Steel Path or the Circuit. Steel Path was added back in 2020 to provide endgame for those that want to test their builds. All enemies in Steel Path start at level 100 and start at an additional 150% bonus to their health and armor, and enemies begin to scale higher the longer you stay in an activity. Warframe also has a game mode called the Circuit, which has a regular version and a Steel Path version. Both versions rotate weekly and have various rewards. The regular version lets you choose one of 3 Warframe paths, and completing all stages of the Circuit for that week will grant you the parts to easily craft that frame. Very useful for those frames that are more of a pain to farm. Then you could take some of those frames and do that subsume thing I talked about. Steel Path version of the Circuit grants 2 weapon incarnates a week that you specifically get to choose out of the 5 options for that week. Only certain weapons have incarnate forms, and they drastically change the performance of that weapon. My honest opinion about Warframe in 2024, play it. Even if you have never played it, play it. It's still actually free to play. You don't need a subscription. You don't need a season pass. You actually just play for free. Now, Platinum still exists, and if you have the means, you can buy stuff. We all do. But all frames and all weapons are still 100% farmable in the game. Cross save is also 100% active now, and the game is even on mobile.